All right, Will Reyes here with another After School Special. We're going to be talking today about Google Slides and how it's more than just a presentation tool. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a question we often get, which is, I'm looking to make flyers or pamphlets or other types of documentation, and it's rough to do because Google Docs doesn't allow me maybe the flexibility and formatting that I would like. Well, the easiest thing to do is to use slides. So let's go ahead and make a new untitled presentation. And this is a quick and easy one that's been around for a while, but if we head into File and slide on down to Page Setup, all we have to do here is change it to a custom size. And in this case, we're going to make it the same size as printable paper, 8.5 by 11 inches. And as you can see here, now I have a template that allows me to work in paper size formatting. I can even divide this up and make templates for trifolds and other things like that. And I can go ahead and space things out however I like. Good example of this is here's a quick sample that I threw together around a classroom party. And you have word art, you have clip art you can bring in by searching the internet for images that you have permissions to. And then you can go ahead and save this as a PDF, as a any other file type you might need as a flat image, or even print directly from here. So definitely a quick and easy way to have your students working on different types of documents other than the traditional print document that Google Docs are best known for. The second way we can use Google Slides to work in our classroom in a way that might be other than a presentation is just as a very simple photo editor. So with our younger students, or if in a pinch you just need to make a photo collage, or students are putting together collections of photos, working in Google Slides can be a great way to make some basic adjustments to photos. In this example photo reel here, you can see I brought in a picture, a pretty dull picture of a lake near, somewhere near the office here. And we can go ahead and through just simply double clicking on this image, we can do some basic cropping, obviously. We can even go as far as to click the format options here, and we can actually go in and work on a few things such as recoloring and adjustments. So in this case here, we can go ahead and add a sepia tone, we can grayscale, we can do a number of things. And some of them will look better than others. Let's go here and try this one. And then what we can do is head into the adjustments, and this gives us that basic brightness and contrast. We can kind of jack the brightness a bit, bring down the contrast a bit, and kind of get to a place where perhaps we take a photo that wasn't the best, or we'd like it to be in a different color tone to match a presentation, and we can end up with something more like this in a grayscale. Same thing can be done. Here's an example of some mountains cropped in with the saturation upped a little bit, and as well as here's a picture of a tree and then cropped again. So if you just need that basic photo editing for your students to just crop images, they can go ahead then and take any of these images and just go ahead and download it back as a JPEG or a PNG, and that'll give them that ability to go ahead and do some basic photo editing right in Google Slides. A third great way to use Google Slides in the classroom is to have students create their own choose your own adventure. One of the things you may not know about Google Slides is in addition to linking just to outside URLs, you can actually link to any slide in a presentation. So as we can see here, I've started a slideshow and I've created a small story with branching. Students would read the story and choose to advance to a slide. Now, what's nice about this is, as we can see here, we can simply just click to follow, and in this case, we would follow this slide here. In presentation mode, all of that kind of disappears and it just turns into an easy click to follow. As we can see here, we've not made it to the end of our story in a positive way, but a great way to do this is simply here. We're going to go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead. We just simply go ahead and highlight where we want that URL click to be, where we'd usually do. We can hit Control K, or we can right click and select link. And now instead of placing the link here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to pick another little option here. So we are going to go like this. We're going to right click, we're going to pick link. And here, as we can see, instead of picking or pasting the link, we're simply going to put slides in this presentation, scroll down to slide 10. In this case, I forgot to add a slide 10, so we'll add slide 9. And now when I click here, it'll go directly to that. It could also be of use for presentations for students, that's sort of as a table of contents at the beginning, or in collaborative group work where maybe a bunch of students are working in one presentation. They would be able to link directly to their page in the presentation from another page. So just that choose your own adventure idea of being able to create branched a branched path through slides, something that is nice and easy to do, especially when you run it in that full screen mode. All right, and the final way that we're going to go ahead and work on, and the final way we're going to talk about using Google Slides differently is it's a really basic stop motion animation tool. This is something that you may have not encountered before, but let's take a quick look here. We'll make a new Google slide. We'll go ahead and get rid of this first slide that has anything in it. And we're just going to add some blank slides. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, get a blank slide. We're going to go ahead and insert an image. We can go ahead and search the web. And we'll put maybe a cat outline for this case here, just because why not? And here we have our little transparent, we'll put this in here, insert. And we have our cat piece here. Let's shrink this down, put it here in the corner. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and duplicate this slide. And then I'm going to move that cat a little bit more. Then I'm going to copy and duplicate that slide and move that cat a little bit more. Duplicate. And as you can see here, I'm just going to keep moving this little icon across here as we go. And eventually, after I get enough slides done, we'll take a look at what it looks like. Now, you might be asking yourself, it doesn't output to video, and you're right. Google Slides doesn't. But what we can do is go File, Share, and Publish to Web. And what this will let us do is make a self-playing presentation. I'm going to go ahead and pick every second here and click Publish. And this might be a simple way of this 1 second per slide. We just go ahead, copy this, throw it up into a new tab, and hit Enter. And we should be able to see our animation play here. As you can see, I've left it on click. In this case, I've made that mistake. What I want to do is here start slideshow as soon as the player loads and restart perhaps. And we can go ahead now and try that again. And as you can see here, it should start automatically playing. There we go. 1 second is pretty slow. So the hacky piece to this is if 1 second is too slow, we can go ahead and paste in that. And if you keep going over here, you'll see that the delay is set to 1,000 milliseconds. Let's go ahead and make that 10 times faster at 100 milliseconds or 10 frames per second and hit Enter. And as you can see now, we get a much smoother animation. So if you've been looking to try stop motion with your students, you can totally go ahead and do that. And a good example of that we can talk about is here. I'm just going to go down to Share, Publish to Web. I've already created this one here for us. And I'm going to go ahead and paste this up. And instead of 3,000, I'm just going to put that 100 again, 10 frames a second, which is pretty good for stop motion. Let's see what we get. I added a bunch. Oh, look at that. I've added a background and a little bit of a better icon. And now as we can see here, that's what that animation could look like for your students. So hopefully that has given you some ideas of how Google Slides can be used in a bunch of different ways other than just presentation tools. If you ever have any questions or need more support, do reach out to the TIPS team or check our website, tips.epsb.ca, for further resources.